Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're going to talk about the Battlefield livestream that just went on, where they talked about some of the features that are going to be included in this next spring update. Unfortunately, there's no release date for the spring update. It is currently in certification, so DICE is just waiting on approval on that process, and then it will come out. It could be within a week, it could be sooner, so who knows, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but we'll have it in the very near future. One of the big features they really wanted to push during this live stream was the Platoons update. This is basically allowing you to form a official clan, if you will, in the Battlefield game. You can have up to 100 players in this clan. They will all get the tags of the platoon, and as an individual player you can actually join different platoons, but you can only represent one at a time. Platoons will have one commander, but you can promote other people in your clans to lieutenant ranks where they can actually accept or decline other member invitations. You can actually control what sort of abilities other members in your platoon will have. So it's not just going to be up to one person necessarily to moderate this platoon. Now, when you're in game, aside from wearing your platoon's tag next to your name in game, if your platoon contributes the most to a flag capture, there will be a secondary smaller flag on the same flagpole that actually represents your platoon's emblem. So that will be on the flag until it gets neutralized and captured by somebody else, which is kind of cool. It's a neat little way to represent your squad in game. Platoons also, in theory, are supposed to be backwards compatible with Battlefield 4 and potentially Battlefield Hardline. They didn't say if you're going to be able to bring an older platoons from, say, Battlefield 4 into Battlefield 1, but if you maybe create a new platoon, it might work backwards compatible with the other games. We'll have to actually test that out, as they didn't give us too much concrete info on that. Now, many of the CTE features are coming across in this next patch. The medic revive intent, which is spotting dead players, will let them know that a medic is on the way to come revive them. This is a cool new feature that was actually talked about by the community and suggested by the community today. So it's nice to see this making its way into the game. Now, the rental server program is one of those hot topics that anybody who used to be a server admin or currently runs a server is very interested in. It's always been a pretty big part of the Battlefield community, and there's going to be some big updates to the RSP system. First of all, private servers are coming in the spring patch. This is huge news to anybody who might want to try and set up a competitive match or just test stuff out in a private server. You will now be able to do that. They've also reduced the required starting player count from 20 players to 6 players, and in the future they want to give server admins complete control over what number starts the server. Also, they are working on a VIP list, but they can't guarantee that it's going to make it in the next patch, but in the near future, hopefully that will be a feature as well. Now, a few patches ago, they implemented map voting, but this was only in privately owned servers. So at the end of a round, you could basically vote on one of 2 different maps. They're now implementing map voting on, I believe, all of the standard servers in the game. So all official servers. At the end of the round, you'll now be able to vote, unless of course it's a game of operations, in which case you'll get kicked out and you'll have to try and find a new game. The 4 new weapon variations that have been available in CTE for a little while are coming in this next spring patch. That is the Hellriegel 1915 defensive, there's the Martini Henry sniper, there's the Subslaughter 1906 sniper, the Hewitt automatic optical. So that's 4 new weapon variants. I did a full video talking about these new variants and how they affect the game. I'll put a link for that video in the description if you want to check it out and see which weapon variant you might want to unlock first, because they all have some pretty steep unlock requirements. Not only do you have to get the level 10 weapon with each class, but then you have to get 300 kills with each gun. It's not going to work retroactively, so you're going to have to go in the game, get 300 kills with, say, the Hellriegel, and then it'll unlock the defensive variant. Of course, there are some additional requirements for each gun. You'll have to check out the assignments in game, and again, check my video if you want a little bit more details or to know my opinions on each specific weapon. It might give you a good idea on which gun you might want to start off on. Now, in addition to the 4 new weapons that you can get, there's going to be 19 new ribbons in the game. Now, we've had ribbons for a little while now. They're a welcome addition. They increase the amount of points you can get per game, and they also sort of award you for playing the game in very specific ways. Having 19 new ribbons kind of specifically specifically gives you more points for doing more specific tasks. Apparently they're geared around teamwork a bit more, so this is going to be a good addition to the game, and it should also increase the amount of points you can get per round. So more stuff, more awards, that kind of stuff. It's all good news. There's also going to be 5 new dog tags you can get. There's one for Battlefest 2017. There's one that is called Answers HQ, and basically if you're a community member who hangs out in the forums and you answer questions for people, or you're just a helpful person, you could get this dog tag for that. You can get a dog tag for simply living in Japan now. There's also a German celebration dog tag, and there's also a new play to give dog tag. Now when it comes to actual gameplay updates, they've apparently been working a lot on each map and the modes. They've been using analytics and data feedback to see where people have been getting choke pointed and fighting the most, and what parts of maps are unbalanced, or which game modes are the most imbalanced. They focused a lot on operations to try and balance it out. This can include anything from changing capture point location to actually moving physical things in the map around. We'll have to really see until the patch notes come out to see exactly what they've changed, but this is really good news. Not only did they focus on operations, but they also focused on conquest and front lines on the new maps. They're just trying to balance everything out, make it flow a bit better. This could be a very big update. Again, it's kind of vague at this point as to what they've changed, so we'll have to wait and see till the full patch notes come out and actually get in and play the game. But this could be a very, very substantial change to the way that you enjoy Battlefield. Also, they're bringing in a lot more changes to the way that grenades work. At the moment, there is that sort of magical resupply ability where grenades just kind of reappear back in your inventory without the need for the support class. Now the way grenades work is that after you throw a frag grenade, there will be a 45-second timer that is internal. You're not really going to see this timer ticking down, but after that timer is up, if you go over to an ammo crate, you will get a new grenade instantly. So this prevents you from resupplying your grenades too quickly, but once that timer has passed, you can now resupply them using the support class's ammo crate. I think this is a decent balanced addition to the game. I'm sure they're still going to be making more changes to ammo 2.0 and grenades and stuff like that in the future. We're probably also going to see some changes on grenade timing as well. This is stuff that's been in the CTE patch notes. I imagine a lot of it will make it over into the spring patch. Again, we'll have to wait for the official patch notes. Now, when it comes to airplanes and how they interact with infantry or ground targets, there's going to be some pretty big changes. Generally speaking, a overall nerf to the airplanes. What they're trying to do is make them less effective versus infantry, especially the fighter plane that drops the darts that can kill. I think those are going to get nerfed pretty substantially, and they're trying to improve the amount of damage you can do with small arms fire to aircraft. And that's one thing that's always kind of perplexed me in this game, is small arms fire actually does a decent amount of damage to aircraft. All you need is like 3 or 4 guys shooting in an aircraft as it's coming by, and you can probably disable it pretty quickly, yet nobody seems to do that, or just not enough people seem to do that. And so hopefully the improved damage against the aircraft will encourage more people to shoot at them as they come flying by, as that is really one of the best deterrents against aircraft. Yeah, we've got the anti-aircraft guns, but machine guns, sniper rifles, just about anything on the ground can actually do some decent damage. Shoot for the wings, shoot for different components of the plane, you can disable them and cause them to crash as well. Alright, now when it comes to netcode, DICE is making some tweaks in this next patch. They're always working on things to try and make them flow a little bit better. One thing that's been a little bit, I won't say a lie, but a little bit dishonest about the way that Battlefield 1 works is that if you shoot a bullet, say you're a sniper and you shoot at another sniper and your shot's midair but his gets to you and kills you first, your bullet actually gets despawned, and this prevents a lot of the kill trading. It's not really an honest representation of the gunplay in the game, and a lot of people who are like shooting and feel like they got a shot off right before they died and are like, why didn't I kill that guy? I totally shot him before I died. Hopefully a lot of those will actually result in kills. Now it will, of course, results in some kill trades. DICE believes that this is going to overall be a more honest representation of what's going on in the game and just a generally better experience overall. So if you are noticing more kill trades after the next patch, just remember that this is actually by intention and it's supposed to represent a more honest overall experience. Now that's everything that's been confirmed or talked about on the live stream. The patch notes should confirm a lot more. I expect that we're going to see a lot more from the Ammo 2.0 patch notes coming over in this spring patch. We'll have to wait and see. The map updates I think are going to be some of the most impactful overall. Things that I'm disappointed not to hear anything about are an Operation Server browser. I would very much like to see an Operation Server browser, and also map voting at the end of operations, I think would be a nice update. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on more information as it comes out. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.